Yeah, welcome to the show. How's your day? Well, it's been raining and raining and raining and raining. Now they would say put this down to climate change. Is it a climate change or just a natural means for the Earth, which is turning at so many turns per year around the sun so many times per year, for which the moon goes around the Earth so many times a year. So, do you think somewhere along the line, if you have been going around and around, it would get pretty boring, and someone would probably say, well, let's give it a bit of a curveball. So they turn the Earth around a little bit, just to give a bit more ice in another area. So in other words, we change our passports, we change our countries, or we stay in the countries and we go from wearing Speedos and become Eskimos. I mean, what's it like being an Eskimo today? I'm sure it would be just as cold as it was yesterday. And amongst all that snow and ice, well, they don't have snow. Do they have snow in the North Pole or the South Pole? I don't know. Do they have snow in the North Pole or South Pole, Shane? They have ice. It's cold, but do they have snow? There's ice balls somewhere in the world today. They showed ice balls somewhere. I'll have a look, see if it shows it on MSN. Well, no, it doesn't. Maybe it might be seen in Google News. No, it's not there either. Well, somewhere there's ice balls are formed. I'm not sure where, but they were. It's taking a while for this to go warm up. This is my computer, and I had an email come through my computer today saying that if you're experiencing technical issues with your computer, it will be fixed soon. If you don't have technical issues with your phone or with your computer, then ignore the email. So obviously they've admitted that there is a reason for something's happened to the internet, and they've actually admitted it through my phone. Ice balls. Yes, ice balls. They were. There were ice balls today. Ice boulders. Here we go. In Lake Michigan. Cedar resident leader Olmsted came across these ice balls last Thursday while on a walk with her dog. Well, I wonder what the dog's name was. They didn't say what the dog's name was. It's like telling the story. You're telling a story and the dog goes by, or Maxwell Smart. The way he's the same thing. He would, like, with, what's the name of Maxwell Smart's dog, Shane? Fang. And they had Fang on there, and they had, now this is in the 60s. Maxwell Smart put on a collar on their dog, and it's supposed to have a camera on it to televise directly from the dog to the TV to show what was going on with chaos. Now this is in the 60s. This is where we had cameras, but we didn't have close-ups or little gizmos. Although, I'm not sure, well, because also James Bond had the same sort of thing. They had all those gizmos which would represent what we have today, which proves the fact that of the 10% of fictional movies or fictional shows, there's a truth case to be seen. And it will be seen either at the time or in the past or in the future that it will happen. So in other words, it's like watching Bugs Bunny and seeing The Martian. What was the Martian's name? Someone will come up with the Martian's name, because he was our mascot on the ship. And he goes on the Mars, and they've got the Martians trying to get off Mars. And they end up blowing up the moon, and they're hanging off the edge of the moon because it's only half a moon or a quarter of a moon. Well, we're back in space again. Now, one of the things about space, scientists. Scientists today. Now, on Dr. Oz the other day, there was a lady on there and she said she was watching the show and someone was talking about check your shit. Check the shit you're doing to see if there's any blood. And she found blood in the shit. Now, how many of you out there now actually check the shit you've done behind your bum? Now, it's kind of like the old thing about the dog sniffing the bum of another dog. Is he just sniffing the bum to see if there's anything wrong with the shit that's coming out? Ask a scientist. Let's go scientists. Let's get funding from the government or the world to discover what's in your shit. Because I know that now they have a bowel cancer kit. There's one here. See this? And here from our government. From our government. In there is a bowel cancer kit. Now, what it is you're supposed to do 3 lots of tests of the shit you do. And you're supposed to poke these things into the shit and then send it off to be tested to see if there's any blood in your shit. Well, I'm sure if there was a something red around your shit, then you'd probably think it was blood. But what about the girls? But then they don't shoot out the same holes they menstruate, do they? But then again, I suppose if they're going to get the cramps, they might as well get the shits as well. There's a one line for it. Maybe you should use that at work one day. And don't be condescending to the girls. Make sure you finish it off with something positive, like if you're going to have the shits, if you're going to have the periods today, you might as well have the shits too. But we also know that when they're going through their periods, the boobs are enlarged and the nipples go hard. So there's a positive to every concept of things like that. Now, my guest today, some of you people would say, well, who the hell is he? Well, we're going to have Sir Henry and his Butlers. Now, on my album, it only has Sir Henry. And the music we're going to play is called Camp. Now, we'll talk more about him after the song, the music. It's an instrumental. And this is Sir Henry and his Butlers and Camp. Brad, I have spoken. go again and again. Around the ship we go again. Now, I'm getting this, my YouTube's monetized. So, and there's things on there saying that, well, there's background music that could have a copyright issues to it. And I think if they're on public's display, and if I bought, they say if you bought the DVD or bought the CD online, then you can play it. Well, I've got the album, and I've paid more for it than I would have. I bought the song from iTunes or YouTunes or whatever. Now, this is my elephant. My son-in-law made it. I bought the Lego, and he made my elephant. So I thought, well, I'll bring it on, and I'll tell an elephant joke. Now, it was raining down in Africa, and there was pissing down rain. The rain was coming down, and there's a bird in the nest. A little bird in the nest. The rain's coming down, the wind's blowing away, and all of a sudden the nest goes crunch down on the ground. And then he's squawking and going, walk, get me out of here, walk. And I'm getting cold, walk, get me out of here. And this elephant comes by, and he says, stay still, and here we go. And the elephant gets in his hind legs and goes, and does a big fat turd on this bird. Next thing you know, the elephant walks off, and here comes this bird getting out of this hot shit. It was nice and hot shit. It's going, squawk, get me out of here, squawk, get me out of here, squawk. And all of a sudden a fox comes by, and bites onto the bird and eats the bird. Now, what's the storyline behind it? Just because when you're deep in shit, if you keep quiet about it, you'll remain safe. If you start squawking about being deep in shit, you'll find yourself into trouble. In other words, the fox come by and took the bird because he's squawking. Get me out of here. Now, there was another one about the mouse and the elephant. Have you seen Mythbusters? Mythbusters was determined to find out whether elephants will change the direction if they've come confronted with a mouse. Now, their scientists gone wrong. They're the scientists I like. I don't like scientists. They do everything they can to manipulate what is right to make it more right, which is more wrong. Now, am I feeling something? No. Am I there yet? No. Well, when I come across that joke about the mouse and the elephant, well, I'll tell it. And I'll bring my elephant on again to tell the joke. Now, what I haven't done is told you about this guy, Sir Henry Butlers. Sir Henry and his Butlers. Now, Sir Henry and his Butlers was a Danish rock pop group which was formed during the summer in 1964 in Copenhagen, Denmark. The group was mostly known for its two front figures, old Sir Henry Badal and especially Tommy Seaback. And also the song Let's Go. Characteristics for the group have been old Bradell as organizer, whereas the rest of the ensemble of Sir Henry and the Butlers have been changed many times since the creation of the group. Now, there was someone who died. Now, the band is a continuation of another band called Five Danes, which was dissolved in spring 1964. In the beginning, this new band consisted of old Sir Henry Bradell, vocal bass, Carsten Egelstrom guitars, together with Leif Davidson drums as trio, and participated in the Danish Beatles competition in Holland in 1964. Shortly thereafter, the band was expanded with Paul Peterson guitar. Leif Davidson was replaced with Johns Bugard, former of the Flintones. The group became popular around the Copenhagen music venues, in particular at Bakkens Place Pigalle. Gee whiz, this is all about Denmark. Now, I can tell you something about my background in Denmark. My family comes from Denmark. They were the Ibsens. But there was also a guy named Henriks. Now, what he did was he invented cement that would set underwater. So all the docks that you see around Denmark and Holland were put together by this guy who actually had the Pioneer Concrete Company. I'm pretty sure it was called the Pioneer Concrete Company. I'll have to look it up and see if it comes up. Because I'm pretty sure it was. Maybe I need to go back into Wikipedia and put it in. Pioneer Cement Company. We'll try that. Cement. Rosendahl Cement in Denmark. Cement was Isaac Johnson. No. Oh, wet cement was pioneered back in the mid-18th century. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Wet cement. It's called. The technology was oh, here we go. Concrete is composite construction material made primarily of aggregate, cement, and water. There are formations of concrete which provide a variety of properties, and concrete is the most used man-made product in the world. Well, I suppose everything is cemented in these days, isn't it? Now, I need to find out. There was a see where it has the cement, water cement, history, Romans. They have the Romans doing their arches. Now, Edelstein, Smeaton, Portland cement. Now that would be one. Producing was painted by Joseph Astor. In 1889, the first concrete reinforced wall was built, and the first large concrete dams were built in 1936. Hereford Dam, Grand. Oh, look at that! Impact of modern concrete use. Composition concrete is a mixture of dry air cement. There's more there. There's nothing there about Denmark. Well, I'll have to look it up in my history and bring it to you. Otherwise, this is going to be a very boring show, isn't it? Well, is there anything more you need to know? Well, I'm still I'd like people to put this forward and say, well, the Paul Beavis Show is seen as a variety show in Australia, which we do not have. We don't have variety shows in Australia. Let's have this as the Australian variety show for the Logies. Let's nominate. Can I be nominated for the Logies? Can I get someone to nominate me for the Logies? and have this as, let's see if we get this as a winning show for the Logies. I mean, there's some shows out there that, well, we've got 18 stations now. One of the stations are showing repeats and repeats and repeats of Seventh Heaven, Charmed, Jag, yeah, and there's a few more shows. Oh, and The Love Boat. While they're good shows, there's, well, for Seventh Heaven, I think that we're going through the third series of it. So we've started from the beginning, gone to the end, gone back to the beginning, and gone to the end again. I'm not sure how popular it was in the States. It was one of those shows that you woke up in the morning to watch before you went to school. So you went to school in a better mood than you did when you first woke up. Yeah, that's what it was for. It's one of those good time movies. But anyway, that's my show. Thank you to Sir Henry and his butlers for camp. There's more on Sir Henry Butler and about POWs. You have to go on the Wikipedia and look it up. But I think this was my 10 or 15 minutes. Oh, Ellen, the generous. This goes to her as well. Yes, I fly Qantas. Yes, I don't have the vitamins. I think some of these vitamins really do more harm than they are good, even though you're advertising them. Well, I'll advertise them if I had a jar here, just to say, when do I go to the States to meet you? When you're over here, are you going to Horsham? I hope you go to Horsham. It's a nice, really nice country town. If you go to Horsham, let me come with you and I'll show you more of the country of Victoria. I have an extensive knowledge of the wineries around Avoca. You go on a wine trip. Oh, there's some guys' places down there to camp. And by the time you get here in March, weather will be nice just to wake up, to open up your tent, and at the front is nice green paddocks and kangaroos. A few horses, a few cows, a few horses, but to wake up to see the bright of the morning, the running of the water, because there'll be water running out down the falls, and just seeing this great green area for you to wake up and then have coffee or pancakes or whatever you want on an open fireplace. Have a billy tea. We'll introduce you to having a billy tea. So Ellen and Portia, when you're out here, give me a call and I'll show you the way. Now, it's the 28th of February, 2013. It's 11:10, 23:10 for the sailors. And I'll catch you again on Friday. Today is Thursday. I'll catch you again tomorrow. Love is all. Bye.